Morning, peeps. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. All right, don't forget, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget as well to like and share the vids. Thank you so much to everyone that is still doing that. All right, let's get some rocket fuel in us before we talk Billy Joe Saunders, Canelo, and everything that's going on. Still hot, that. Nice, but still hot. Did you see Canelo call? I'm guessing this guy's a member of the Saunders team because he had like a Saunders tracksuit. It was in the hotel lobby, so I guess you got to be something official to be in the hotel lobby. Canelo called him an effing, you know what? Interesting. All right, now that we know the fight is on, it was never off anyway, really. So much money on the table. But now that we know the fight is on, let's talk a bit about this fight. We've been talking about this matchup for the best part of a year. I feel like we've been discussing this and the chances of Billy Joe Saunders causing the upset. I've been firmly on the side that I think Canelo is going to be too much. As with all big fights, as you get closer and closer, you start to think, okay, wait a minute, what have I missed? But look, it's a fantastic matchup, right? It's one that excites the fans. I always say that boxing gives us so much bullshit, like, doesn't it, throughout the year, so much crap. But when it puts on a big fight like this, I mean, you're fully invested and you forget all the bullshit. Like, have you realized that we've all forgotten about the AJ Fury saga? Like, we're not even thinking about it because Canelo Billy Joe Saunders is happening in what, 4 days, and it just literally takes precedent. Like, forget. We'll focus on AJ Fury after this, but for now, let's focus all eyes on what will be a fantastic fight. Let's not forget, all but one belt is on the line, and that's just the IBF belt that Caleb Plant has. This is, well, Canelo's already the best at 168 pounds. Can Billy Joe Saunders become a pound for pounder? Can he become the man at 168 pounds? Can he be the man that derails this machine? And it is a machine, this Canelo. It's a machine, like a well-oiled, drilled machine. Someone that doesn't play boxing, someone that lives the life, someone that has fought some very, very elite fighters, someone that I think's had a couple of decisions go his way. I think, you know, you go back and you score the Lara fight. You could score the Lara fight to Lara, sorry, the Lara Canelo fight to Lara, you know. If you do it round for round, like, properly watch it, turn off the fucking commentary and just watch the fight. You could definitely score both Golovkin fights, well, especially the first one to GGG. But look, he's been in there with those guys. He's been in there with those guys. He's been in there with Floyd. You know, he's been in there with Danny Jacobs. He's been in there with good guys. And even if you scored those fights to Lara and GGG, the fights were razor thin. You know what I mean? No one's embarrassed him. The only person that did embarrass him a bit was Floyd. And that was a young Canelo. And that was, well, to be fair, it was an old Floyd. The narrative's always weird about that. Oh, that was a young Canelo. Like, that was a peak Floyd. That was a Floyd way past his peak. Not just in age, but in weight. But regardless, I've still thought Canelo handled himself quite well, especially in the early rounds of that one. Let's start with what percentage chance I give Billy Joe Saunders in this fight. When this fight was first announced, like officially announced, I gave Billy Joe Saunders, I'm not even bullshitting you here, a 10% chance. Now, people might find that disrespectful. It's not. The reason I'm giving him a 10% chance is because of how good I think Canelo is. So it's not a case of I think Billy Joe Saunders is so bad. It's because I think Canelo is so good. Yeah? So hopefully, if anyone's watching this, that's a massive Billy Joe Saunders fan. They're not thinking, oh, Ade for fuck's sake. No. I just think Canelo is so good. I think he's, like, I remember, I've been watching Canelo pretty much from the get-go, especially when he started fighting over in America anyway. Obviously, his fights earlier were in Mexico. And I always used to think that, okay, you know, I've seen him get hit a couple of times. I've actually seen him get wobbled, believe it or not. I know it doesn't seem normal now, but wobbled. I thought his gas tank was bad. I remember him hanging on a bit against Angulo. And that fight was stopped, I think. Anyway, I thought it was, I remember thinking at the time that, oh, he's hanging on a bit here. Since then, this guy has just become elite. Like, there's nothing he does that's bad. There's one thing, and I'm going to talk about that one thing, and that's why I'm going to give Billy Joe Saunders a bit more than sort of 10, 15% now. There's one thing he does bad, but everything else, he's perfect. He He throws punches in bunches. He mixes his punches up. He disguises them so well, so well. Fantastic lateral movement, right? Every time you see those clips where they show Jacobs trying to get him, I think Jacobs tries to throw 4 jabs and a couple of right hands and misses with absolutely everything. We know he's got the gas tank now. I don't think he's got the type of pop we think he's got at 168 pounds. I don't know if he's carried his power up like that. I know he knocked Kovalev out, but Kovalev was completely washed. But he's got power. There is power there. The reason I'm going to give Billy Joe Saunders a bit more now, so I'm going to go it's 75-25, maybe even 70-30. Because I still think foot movement, he might struggle against someone with the movement of Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Joe Saunders has very good movement. He really does. And when was the last time we saw Canelo in with someone that had good movement? We haven't. All of these wins recently have been against guys, unfortunately, and this is no discredit to any of them, none of them have good movement. I mean, some people might immediately think, oh, Danny Jacobs. Danny Jacobs don't have good movement. Golovkin certainly doesn't have good feet. I mean, Golovkin, okay, let me phrase that. Golovkin has good feet in terms of he knows how to kind of cut the corners so you don't get out of the pocket. But in terms of good foot movement to cause Canelo problems, was never there. Callum Smith, never there. Rocky Fielding, never there. Avni Yildirim, never there. I think we can all 110% say Billy Joe Saunders has better foot movement than all of those guys. That might be a problem. Might be. And that's it. That's why the percentage bar has been raised from 10 or 15 to 25 and 30. That's it. That's why I give him a 30% chance now. Just because of the movement. You chuck into that, the confidence. He has got supreme confidence. I never thought Callum Smith looked like he was going to win. Like, never. Nothing in his body language, nothing about Callum Smith made me think, oh, he's going to win. He's going to win. Nothing. This kid, Billy Joe Saunders, has the confidence of, I hate to make the comparison, but Tyson Fury. He's got that kind of confidence, like, we'll see. We will see. And I absolutely love it. I love his confidence. My fear for him is, and I think I've said this phrase a few times, what have you done for me lately? I'm going to quickly get up his BoxRec record now because, again, we always, and, I've seen DAZN have been constantly showing the David Lemieux performance. Again, let's not act like David Lemieux is a killer. David Lemieux is a good B-level fighter. So Billy Joe Saunders was able to be a good B-level fighter who is nowhere near the level of Canelo. So showing all those clips about him doing this and him moving out the pocket, and that's all well and good, but it's a B-level fighter. But anyway, since David Lemieux, he fought Charles Adamu, who's 32-13. Shefa Isifu, we move on very quickly. Marcelo Caceres, who he didn't look good against. Remember, that was in the undercard of the YouTubers. And Martin Murray. That's what he's done. People have told me, and I've spoken to a few people, and says that, yeah, but he raised his game depending upon the level of opponent. You can't turn the tap on and off when you want. You can't do that. This is boxing. You can't just, oh yeah, well, I'm fighting Martin Murray. Let me turn it down a bit. Oh, Canelo now. Let's go. I don't think it works like that. You've got to be fighting a caliber of opponent to keep yourself sharp, as far as I'm concerned. Again, since that David Lemieux performance, Charles Adamu, Shefa Isifu, Marcelo Caceres, and Martin Murray. I mean, come on. Like, really? And people expect me, because of what he done in 2017 against David Lemieux, that he's all of a sudden going to do that and more because he's ready to step up now against the pound-for-pound number one. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. We'll see. He's a slick boxer. He is. He's a slick boxer, and granted, Cotto was a slick boxer. Sorry. Cotto was a slick boxer. Even a Cotto did cause Canelo a bit of problems. Lara, slick boxer. I mean, come on. Floyd, slick boxer. I mean, he's been in there with slicker boxers than Billy Joe Saunders. Way slicker. Experienced, mature. Boxers that have been fighting at an elite level for a good lick. He's been in there with all of those guys. He has seen every single style. There's not one style of fighter that he's not been in against and seen it and found a way to win. Not one. Not one. And again, even the loss, I feel like he's learned a lot from that Floyd loss. A lot. So look, we'll see. I personally, it's like, it's not like some people are like, oh, support Billy Joe because you're British. And please. I support boxing. Don't get me wrong. I do have my British flag up sometimes. And I do want him to put on a performance. Look, I would love him to cause the upset because it kind of fucks up the apple cart. And I mean, Billy Joe Saunders with all those belts would be something, right? I mean, what he would say on the mic after would be fascinating. I just can't see it. I can't see it. Is he going to get a points decision in America against Canelo? Doubt it. I mean, the only way he gets a points decision is if he completely embarrasses him, where it's so obvious he's won the round. That's the only way. That is the only way. I don't know if anyone believes that we will see that. Can he knock Canelo down? Sorry. Doubt it. Look, I'm fascinated by it. I'm not putting Billy Joe down at all here. I'm fascinated by it, but I just can't see a world in which he wins. I really can't. And the funny thing is, as much as this has been billed as boxer versus puncher, it really isn't boxer versus puncher. I mean, Canelo is more than that. Canelo is boxer, puncher, experience, pound for pounder, elita, not a word, just made it up, against boxer. Like, Canelo literally has every other box tick. Is Billy Joe Saunders a bet? Like, is someone going to tell me 110% Billy Joe Saunders is a better boxer than Canelo? I'm not accepting that. I'm not accepting that. Because, again, and I hate to do this, but let me bring up his record. Because the Billy Joe Saunders performances that we've seen that have been elite, are you telling me that Canelo wouldn't look elite and an unbelievably good boxer against a cave of William Monroe, David Lemieux, Charles Adamu, Shefa Isufu, Caceres, Martin Murray? Are you telling me we wouldn't see Canelo like destroy those guys and be like, oh my God, Canelo's an elite boxer? He's an elite boxer, and we think, look, Billy Joe Saunders is a good boxer. Let me not be rude here. But what I'm saying is, Canelo would look elite more than he does now against this lot. Anyway, we'll see you all on the live watch along before I ramble on too much. But for me, I've got Canelo winning by 9 rounds to 3, 10-2 maybe. Maybe because Billy Joe might engage, maybe a late stoppage. Maybe. All right, quickly run through some news before we wrap up. And what's the time? Yeah, we got to go have a shower and go to work soon. Joshua, I know I'm the man at heavyweight and I'll be for a long time. Next, we're not talking about anything AJ Fury. Jake Paul, we're definitely not talking Jake Paul. Natasha Jonas, I'll be a world champion. The journey continues. Good to know that she's not retiring. There was part of me that thought, because I think Natasha Jonas is like 37. I thought that she might call it quits. 2 world title fights. I thought she might think, you know what, enough's enough. But I think we've seen enough in her. 36, 37 in June. I think we've seen enough in her for her to have a couple more goes, if I'm honest with you. Good fight, really good fight. I wouldn't mind seeing it again. Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. Felix Fadeo. No, it's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy what's going on. I don't know if I've mentioned it. I'm pretty sure I have, but I think he's handed himself in to police. Crazy. We'll move on from it. Eubank Jr. backs up talk, bets £10,000 on Canelo to knock Saunders out. Eubank Jr. is a funny one, man. Like, yeah. They say what's in your head. Okay, say what's in my head. Canelo is fighting Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Joe Saunders is fighting Canelo. You just fought Marcus Morrison. More here about all the back and forth between Canelo, judges, gloves, ring size. We'll move on from that stuff. We'll move on. Is it true that John Ryder has flown out and was like, just in case, like was was a just-in-case opponent, just in case Billy Joe Saunders did pull out. That's crazy. Like, fucking hell, that people will have a heart attack if that was to happen. All right, see this. Joshua BoxRec versus Daniel Blender dos Santos. Can't lie to you. I thought I knew the light heavyweight division off the top of my dome. Clearly don't, because I don't know who Daniel Blender is. Let's have a quick look at his record on BoxRec. 15-0, 8 knockouts from France. I'm sorry. I know that he switched training camp. I get that. I fully understand it. He's going to be working on different things. He won his last fight, BoxRec. Am I correct? Yeah, it was a tough fight, but he won. Yes, it was a while ago. When was that fight he had against Kalic? October. That's not that long ago, really, if I'm honest with you. What's that, 6 months ago, 7 months ago? The kid he's fighting, I'm sorry. No. This is the record of the guys fighting. So this is why I love BoxRec, you know, because there was a time when I was very young, and if it was like, oh, Joshua BoxRec, I'm just putting any name here, but I'm going to say BoxRec for the sake of this conversation. BoxRec's fighting a guy that's 15-0. I'm like, whoa, okay, all right. He's fighting a guy that's 15-0. Gee. BoxRec enables us to then look a bit deeper into the record. Not just BoxRec. There's other websites that do it. Okay, so this guy, his last fight was the 24th of April, and he fought a guy called Ivan Nikolov, who was 3-9. Before that, he fought a guy who was 10-44. Before that, he fought a guy who was 13-24. Before that, a guy 5-20. Before that, a guy 13-23. Before that, 4-10. Before that, 6-5. Before that, 18-38. No. I'm sorry, but no. BoxRec can't be doing this. Not for me. That's really, really bad. Really bad. Like, I like BoxRec a lot, but that's poor. That's really, really poor. What's got here? Anything else? A bit more about this Video stuff. Yeah, we'll move on. I think Parker suffered elbow injury halfway through Chisora fight, says manager. Okay. All right. No, that might have happened. But doesn't excuse the bad performance as far as I'm concerned. Does it? I mean, elbow must hurt, but awful performance. Awful. I'm going to give him a bit of a blight just because, give him a couple more training camps of Andy Lee, see if Andy Lee can do anything with him. But yeah, man, boy. Andy Ruiz, I like that I went down, got up and won. I felt rusty. What? No fighter likes when they go down. Stop this nonsense. Again, this is like when fighters say, I wanted to go the full 12 rounds just because, you know, it was good to get the rounds in me. No. Look, I thought he done well to get up and survive because he got up and he was hit. Because the way he was hit, it could have messed up his equilibrium a little bit. But good fight, man. Good fight. He's clearly got to shake off the rust here. We'll see if they go a big nakes or they kind of go middle of the ground now. We'll see what they do. Do they go Luis Ortiz, which is that a big name still? I don't know. Or do they try and find someone in between? All right, what we got here? Canelo, Charlo, yes. Benavidez, yes. Plant, yes. But Andrade has fought nobody. Who's Plant fought? Am I missing something with Plant? Have a look at Plant's record. Who has he fought that's of serious note? I like Plant, by the way. I'm not digging him. I'm just thinking, like, who has he fought that? Katagui, is that the name he's referring to? Is yes. Caleb Truax in his last fight. Are these the names that, to be fair, Fagan Boots, I remember he was considered something. He hasn't done anything. I mean, he hasn't done anything either. So it's not just, I mean, you know, let's ease up the reins on Demetrius Andrade. I don't know, man. But look, in that situation, he mentioned 4 guys there. Charlo, Benavidez, Plant, and Andrade. Look, Andrade clearly struggling at 160, got your ass to 168. Charlo, I don't know if he's struggling, but why not go there as well? Let them guys all mix it. I feel like it's got to the stage now where, right, not that you've got to earn the Canelo shot. Maybe you got to. But, like, put yourself in a position where the fans scream for it as well. I don't know if the fans are really screaming for Canelo versus any of those four guys. But if there was like a little mini tournament between the four of them and the winner, then the fans are going to scream for that. Or even if one of them fights someone, so one of those four fight each other. So if Charlo moves up and fights Benavidez, which has been talked about, then, I mean, the winner of that surely, has to fight Canelo, and everyone will be screaming for it. Everyone will be screaming for it. Like, earn it a bit. Maybe that's the wrong way to look at it, but that's the way I feel. All right, guys, peace and love.